Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Teachers Off Duty. I am so excited today because we have a couple of very special episodes coming up for you. So I'm going to introduce my very, very good friends that I have with me this week. This lovely, shining ray of sunshine.
Oh my gosh. It's Leslie Robb. Leslie Robb Comedy on social media, guys. Right? That is me. High school teacher, comedian, speaker, just love to have fun and so excited about this episode. So
yes, I am very, very excited. Hello.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me to the party.
Glad to be here.
So welcome. It's hard to get an invite to this party, but I'm so glad that you made it. And who are you?
I am Jared Lamb. I'm Principal Lamb, and I'm shocked that we have an administrator who got invited here on the board teachers pod.
That is what I'm saying. I cannot believe that we have an admin in our presence.
Legit. An admin being invited to something like this is equivalent to my friends being invited to the cookout. I'm just saying. It's the equivalent. And Principal Lamb, I'm so fangirling. I love you.
Teachers, please do not turn off this episode because you heard an admin was on this episode. Please do not do this.
Don't do it, guys.
Because Leslie and I are huge fans of you.
Yes.
Okay. And it's weird to say that we're as teachers, we're fans of admin. Okay. But
I think that's the first time that's ever been stated.
Yeah. In the history of teaching.
Of schools, real. Yeah.
You know, that's definitely one of those said no one ever.
Yes. Yes. And I feel weird going out on a limb and saying it, that I am a huge fan of you and what you stand for. So tell us a little bit about why do teachers love you?
Well, I really believe that our schools need administrators who support the teachers. I've been a principal for the last 16 years, and when I first became a principal, I was horrible at it.
Really?
I was no good. Really? I didn't know what I was doing. I was sitting around in my office. I was
so being a normal
I was
principal.
pushing paper. Yes, I was pushing papers, I was waiting for the ding on my email to respond to something. And what I realized is that is a horrible strategy because what our schools need is actually administrators who are there to support teachers and the staff and the students.
Revolutionary stuff over here.
That is amazing.
Yes.
So I've completely abandoned my principal's office. I don't have a principal's office. I just travel the campus on a rolling cart, just supporting teachers, supporting faculty, and supporting students.
Can you be 110% honest with us here on this podcast?
Of course.
Do you like your cart?
I love it.
Really?
You don't mind not having a space to go in and just close the door and maybe scream into a pillow or something?
No, I love it. It is. Okay. So I have a horrible case of ADHD. So I would also just get so bored just sitting in the office. And so being out about the building in the hallways, giving students high fives, rolling into classrooms, that's my jam.
No, that's what's up. But no, it's funny because you get the opposite reaction from a teacher. Because legit, I got hired for real for a position and they're like, we're going to show you your classroom. It was literally a cart. And I was like, but what?
Where's the walls?
We're going to make sure you have all the supply. Having supplies is not going to help make a difference with me in the cart. Okay. Me going from room to room ain't a thing. And then you got to share people's classrooms you're imposing.
Even walking into a school, I can't not have at least 5 bags. I come with a lot of baggage everywhere I go, and it's not going to fit on a cart. I will tell you that much right now.
Yes.
I think for me, it helps me minimize the clutter because I'm I don't have an office to spread all stuff around. Yeah. It's I got my laptop and whatever, and then the rest gets thrown away.
But no, that makes sense though too. Like you said with the ADHD component, that makes complete sense because I'm sure that is literally ADHD, heaven having your cart. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is I just realized that I found that when I was in my office, I was just not aware of what was happening across the campus. And so then I'm needing to then just retroactively then go and problem solve and do all these things. Whereas being rolling through the cart, you see everything firsthand, so you're able to be more proactive in terms of supporting the team.
Yeah.
I mean, true.
That is very, very true. And maybe like some admin don't feel like they want to know what's going on on campus. That's why
The fact
like,
that
you can just hide and retreat and
like,
not face the reality.
We have a great school in here.
Yeah.
in this like little office that I have. It's a great school.
Exactly. Couldn't tell you what's going on the other side of it. But inside this office,
Something's happening here.
Something is
Exactly.
happening. Something is happening.
Exactly.
I am so happy that you're here, and I'm so excited to have conversations with you and get an admin perspective.
Same.
I'm
Same.
glad to be here.
We are hoping to bridge some gaps between admin and teachers, maybe bring some understanding for everybody. So
Let's do it.
Yes.
I'm very glad we reluctantly opened our door to an admin.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
But it was open.
We're on it. We're
Yes.
so honored to have you here.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about really quick. We have 2025 is here, which is crazy to me.
Insane.
I don't know how we got here. I'm waiting for the floating cars to
Mhm.
come.
Yeah.
But we have some amazing comedy shows coming up.
Whoop, whoop.
This year, 2025 is going to be huge for the Board Teachers Comedy Tour.
Yes.
So this January, I'm going to run through the dates for January. We're in Reading, Pennsylvania on January 15th, Ocean City, Maryland, Virginia Beach, and then Durham, North Carolina, North Charleston, South Carolina. And then the next weekend on the 23rd, we're in California, Monterey, Davis, Stockton, Reading. And then the next weekend, we're in Paducah, Kentucky.
Paducah.
I want to go.
I can't help it.
I want to go to
know.
Paducah.
Legit. I just like saying the word.
How do you guys
Paducah.
get stuff done? Paducah.
Paducah.
I live in Paducah. Okay. And then Chesterfield, Missouri, Effingham, Illinois. And then February 7th, we are off to the United Kingdom.
What?
Overseas. Taking it up a notch.
So excited.
Yes.
So London, Glasgow, Birmingham, and Manchester. We
Wow.
will see you in February. We are so excited to get to our UK teachers. I did just want to take a minute and just say, California teachers, we are thinking and praying for you guys
Yes.
and all of the things that your students are going through, your schools are going through, and
For
how much you
sure.
guys are dealing with right now. Just know that you are in our thoughts and prayers, and we are just devastated by what's going on over there with the wildfires.
Yeah.
Teachers, start 2025 right. Save big with Mint Mobile. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2025, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for wireless? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you maximize your savings with plans starting at $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. $15 a month. Yeah, you heard that right. That's a fraction of what you're paying now. More money for coffee, classroom supplies, or that much needed weekend getaway. Mint Mobile makes it super simple to have premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G network. You get unlimited talk and text with high-speed data. And the best part, other than saving a bunch of cash every month, you can keep your current phone and number, so no tech headaches or confusion. Say goodbye to overages and jaw-dropping monthly bills, and hello to a savings resolution you can actually stick to. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/TOD. That's mintmobile.com/TOD. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/TOD. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. So, let's get into today's episode.
Let's dive in, guys.
Let's go.
Do it. We have some horror stories of teachers who have some horrible things that have happened to them because an admin asked them to do something.
Uh-huh.
Why
I believe it.
Why the admin may have to be villains?
Well, Because here's the thing, I've been teaching for 17 years, and finding an admin like you is like a unicorn. So even just meeting you, I'm like, it's like, I'm like, oh, Principal Lamb. Because literally, it's so hard to find. It's like discovering gold. Now, my current principal is pretty fantastic. I will give it to Mr. Bed, shout out. But yeah, no, but it is rare. So that's why admin tends to get a bad rap, because they are usually.
But why? But like, because it's like, as an administrator, that should be one of your primary focuses: supporting teachers, supporting the staff, making sure people have what they need to do their best work with students.
Well, and I think that's like a conversation in and of itself, because like admin, you guys are trying to make everyone happy. And I am going to be sympathetic to the admin side of things. And
thank you.
Some of these stories are awful. And I am not on those admin side. I will tell you that very much. Up front, you are bad people is some of these stories. But like, you guys are basically politicians,
right?
Trying to make every single person happy. You've got superintendent district above you.
Yes.
You've got teachers below you. You've got students. You've got families. You've got guardians. Like, there's so many people that you guys are trying to make happy at all times. And I feel like it's impossible to do that. So how, like, who do you choose? Who do you choose? Huh? On the Teachers Off-Duty podcast.
I mean, there's only one right answer. But I had a point in my journey as an admin where I was like, okay, yes, there's all these stakeholders that I'm answering to. And I have the superintendent, and I have the parents and the families, and I have the faculty and staff. And I just put a stake in the ground that, like, I'm in on supporting teachers first and foremost. And my rationale for that is that if you have a well-supported team of teachers who are doing excellent work with students, then the parents are going to be happy, the students are going to be happy, the superintendent is going to be happy. It all starts with what is happening in the classrooms and the work that the teachers are doing.
So true.
Because it trickles down.
Yeah,
it trickles down because the teachers are kind of affecting all of those different people that you are trying to keep happy and make happy. So that, like, I think that's the most frustrating part. And why is that so hard to understand?
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is it makes you almost wonder, like, is it just that they don't want to put the work into it? Because I'm seeing, like, a lot of the things that you do, and it's so outside of the norm.
Yeah.
But you're showing that it can be done. Like, that's the thing. Is so, like, the teachers being supported should be, like, number one. And I completely agree. It does trickle down because, like, literally we're like the epicenter. And then, like, all the things that trickle around that would make the difference. So I agree with you 100%. But it just seems like that while it may be like the pressure of, of everything that, it's hard for admin to choose. So when an admin who's like, well, how?
Yes.
What do you say to that?
I just look back on, like, I think about my own experience as a classroom teacher. And I think
Wait, how long were you a teacher for?
All right. So not long enough.
3 months?
I have 6 days of teaching experience, and I nailed it in those 6 days.
Yes, get out. You are done.
No, I taught for 5 years. I was a middle school math teacher. I was a high school biology teacher.
Okay.
Wow.
But I think that's how I operate, as I think about what was my experience in the classroom, and then what were the conditions and what were the things that I needed to do my best work. And so, that's how I try to orient myself. And I think the other thing is, I've been a principal for 16 years, so it's been a while since I've been in the classroom. And so the other thing I really try to do is, I think it's so easy for admin to forget what it's like.
Yeah.
So throughout my tenure as a principal, I always find avenues to get in the classroom and still do the direct work with students.
Yeah.
Teaching, I was recently teaching a 6th grade math class, and I taught a 6th grade math class for a couple months.
What?
Just so I could experience, like, this is, because you do forget, like, the process of grading papers and entering grades and following up with parent concern. Like, you forget what that's like if you're not actually in the classroom doing it.
Yeah.
That's so true. So true. Wow. That's amazing. So, like, you take time out, to see what it's like to be in a classroom. Wow. That is literally genius. I don't know how you came up with that. Like, remembering what it's like to be in a classroom, because so many principals seems like they forget. So that's awesome.
But I think it's just so important. I was thinking back, I was principal of a school. It was a transformation school. We were trying to reset. We had previously had a failing school, and it was some challenging situations with students and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was a new principal. I was brand new. And the teachers were all looking at me like, who is this guy coming in thinking like this has been a chaotic environment. This guy thinks he's going to come in here and do this. And so the first thing I did is I started and I said, you know what? Put me in a math classroom and I'm gonna teach a class first thing every morning. And the buy-in that I got from the faculty and staff as serving as a middle school principal at the time, but then jumping into a class of 8th graders every morning, like we had a classroom where like the students were invested. It was a focused environment, and it was like I won a lot of credibility over with the staff because they were able to see, okay, he's not just telling us what to do, but he's actually rolling up his sleeves alongside us and doing it.
Oh my gosh. Thing. I was like,
I love that.
Yeah.
I think you have unlocked the code.
Legit.
But like, honestly, like thinking as a teacher and thinking about like coming in first thing in the morning and having the principal of your school teach 8th graders, which like is not the like ideal choice. I think like if I was an admin, I was like, okay, I'll teach a class. It'll be the kindergarten, like reading circle, like
8th grade is not for the faint of heart,
right? And math.
Period.
So that's really amazing. Like thinking as a teacher, I would absolutely immediately buy in. Like all of the defenses that I would have would be completely blown away.
Yeah, but I also agree with that. Like Jess said, an immediate buy-in for the teachers, but I think it's not an immediate buy-in for all parties involved. For even the kids to see, oh wow, like, you know, he's coming in the classroom, he's going to be present. Like, you know, the parents the kids to go home and say, hey, my new principal was in my classroom teaching. And
oh my gosh,
but to buy in with the parents, buy in with the custodial staff, buy in with the librarian. Like, wow, this man is willing to bring it down. You know what I mean? Yes. And not that like, you know, saying it, bring it down a notch, like teaching is taking it down a notch, but I'm saying the fact that you're willing to like literally get in and see what it's like and to do what's necessary to learn it from there is amazing.
Well, I just, it's always been a challenge for me of like, how am I going to step into a principal role and tell a faculty and staff what to do when I'm not aware of what their daily struggles are.
Right.
And so I think that's one of the, like, I think one of the most essential parts of the job for me is like being able to empathize with the educators in the building and see what they're going through on a daily basis. So that then systematically and structurally you can set up things to position them to be successful.
Right.
So true.
So that you also don't set yourself up to ask your staff to do really horrible things.
Yes, love that segue. Transitioning.
I am a professional.
Okay,
I told
love
you.
that.
You
nailed the segue. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Okay. Are you ready to hear some of these horror stories?
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, teachers, you know nothing gets past our students. They notice every change and flaw they see in you and have no shame in calling it out. This includes when I have some pimples that are so red and big, you know the kind of pimples I'm talking about. And any respectful, mature adult knows that we don't acknowledge them, okay? But we don't work with respectful, mature adults, do we? We work with the kind of people that will raise their hands and seriously ask, what is that giant red thing on your face? Anyone else want to put their head in a paper bag? Just me? Feeling confident in your skin starts with getting expert care. That's why we're so excited to partner with Apostrophe. Whether you're dealing with acne, signs of aging, or dark spots, Apostrophe helps you get access to the right treatments for your skin. Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne and dermatology treatment for your unique skin. Through Apostrophe, you can get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear acne. Simply fill out an online consultation about your skin goals and medical history. Then snap a few selfies and a dermatology provider will create a custom treatment plan just for you. Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, and even back, chest, and butt acne. Treat breakouts from head to toe. When I signed up, which was so simple, my main goal was improving my skin texture and preventing these nasty pimples. What I loved, the process was so simple. No waiting, no awkward in-person appointments, no waiting at the pharmacy, just expert and personalized care delivered straight to my door. Ready to start feeling confident in your skin? skin, we have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/TOD when you could use our code TOD. That's a savings of $15. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/TOD and click Get Started. Then use our code TOD at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode. Okay.
Brace yourself.
I'll start with this one. Okay. Admin asked me to do a quote unquote handstand or something when my class would get rowdy to get their attention back.
I'm sorry, what? First of all, medical bills.
I will do a handstand and then I will be gone for the rest of the year.
Legit. I mean, I have
my
no
neck
problem.
is broken. My neck is broken.
Right. I'll do a handstand. I'm going to use some workers' comp the rest of the year, though.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the administrator giving that counsel has never been in a classroom. You're going to get in a handstand.
Case in point.
In front of students.
Right.
And as a way to get the attention back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well said.
No,
Well
that's
said.
not. Like, there's just like so many things wrong with that.
On so many
First,
levels.
Like, that's not a helpful.
Mm-mm.
That's not a helpful way to get the attention back.
Yeah, no. You'll get attention. I'm not sure on what level.
I would like to know what grade level this was as well, because you know, if it's like a second grade, then you're gonna have like 13 second graders doing a handstand with you.
I was about to say they're gonna just do it with you.
And when
literally.
I say a handstand, I mean like me trying to get my feet up off the ground, like I'm stuck in a perpetual somersault at all.
Legit. Stuck is the key word for me. Because anybody gonna get me back up? Like, I know I'm on a handstand. I'm not coming out of this. So we're gonna need some reinforcement.
That's a wrap.
School nurse, where the nurse at? Yeah. Where the nurse at? Bring the wheelchair.
Where's your ice pack? Where's your ice pack?
Your ice pack? Yes, legit. Oh my gosh.
The HR team is not approving of that strategy.
No, not on any level. Not on any level.
Okay. This one. I was slapped on the ass one day by one of my high school students.
Immediately no. I'm sorry. I'm already like,
that's a wrap already.
I'm already out.
I wrote the kid up, but the student told admin it was an accident. Admin sent him back to class and asked me to apologize to him.
I'm sorry. What?
I just like want to make sure that my butt is still attached to my body because like what?
Oh my gosh.
That is like insult to injury. Just the fact that like not only did the student do that, but then to reverse it where the teacher has to apologize to the student.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like and this kind of like harpens back to like what we talked about before, like immediate buyout of what you're trying to do in a school as an administrator and like where are your priorities at as an administrator. Yes. And it's not on teachers, I'll tell you that much, or on a student either.
In that case, right.
But this is why teachers leave the classroom, because they have horrible experiences like this where it's just like it makes it impossible to work in that environment.
Yeah. So when you have a teacher send a student to you, like what's the protocol for you? Like, do you have?
Sure. The first thing I always do is if a teacher sends a student to me, I always take the student. I am never in a situation of going back and forth and what was the situation here. I will, in the moment, I always support the teacher 100% of the time.
Love that.
Now, that does not mean that I don't have follow-up conversations or that the teacher always acted in the best way.
Right, true.
But in the moment, because one thing is I never want it to be a back and forth where the student is there then witnessing. Now I'm going back and forth with a faculty and staff member on our team. Right. So that's kind of my strategy in terms of handling those situations is in the moment, lead with support, then let's investigate, figure out the full situation, and then go from there.
Yeah. I think that is super important for the kids to not see that you are who's actually in power when the back and forth is happening, when you're sending kids back to class, like, oh, we had a good chat, like, way to go, like, thanks, you can go back to class now.
Yeah.
When you're having that, the power is all on the student.
Yes.
No one is in charge.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
And everyone loses in those situations
right.
because then the teacher doesn't feel well supported. That student then goes back to class and can do X, Y, Z
Right.
more extreme behavior because
Yeah.
they now have been given the green light by
Right.
the
Yeah.
admin.
They know nothing's going to happen.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, especially in this situation with this teacher, dear Lord, first of all,
I'm so
I would
sorry.
apologize. I want to apologize because I quit. I will not be here tomorrow. And I'm so sorry. You're going to have to find a sub.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm
yes.
apologizing
you're tripping.
for.
That is the only thing I'm apologizing for. So just wanted to preface that. But like you said, though, I love how you said that you immediately take the student. And guys, I am not saying that there are not some seasoned teachers who are stuck in their ways that probably were in the wrong. But I like that initially
Yes.
you take the student and you side with the teacher until you can get clarity. That is essential. It's like, just get the clarity, because like you said, standing there, and it is the worst, is going back and forth with admin because the kid is now seeing, yeah, see, look,
Right.
da-da-da-da. You know,
Right.
it creates a whole nother attitude that did not
Yes.
need to happen, because it, again, the student then loses further respect for the teacher. And then it could lose further respect for the admin because they're
Yeah.
like, look, I got him where I want him. Or, you know, even with the teacher, like, oh, she thinks she gonna get me in trouble, but she didn't. Like,
Yes.
I like that you like take the student and let's figure this out.
Right.
Love it.
And I have situations where I will disagree with the teacher, but that's going to be a private conversation that we're going to have in a one-on-one setting.
Yeah.
That's never
Exactly.
something that
Yes.
we're not going to, the students are going to, what the student sees is we're all on the same, the faculty and staff here are on the same team.
Yeah.
That's what I love. And that's what's essential.
Yep.
I think if more of that happened, it would make such a difference in school environment when it comes to admin.
1,000%.
Like, literally, I just need to know that you have my back
Right.
and that you are going to support me, because that is the worst. I will never forget. I was teaching elementary school, and of course, you know, elementary parents, dear Lord, you know, our next level. Okay. Dealing with an elementary parent is next level. Thank
No
God
comment.
for teaching high school now. No comment. Like, that's why I teach high school now. But yeah, like, elementary parents, like, are next level. And so, like, one of the parents had made this complaint, and I overheard admin, because, you know, I was really excited that admin is like literally talking to the parent, advocating for me. They're like, Miss Robb, don't you worry, we got it. I walk out, I get down the hallway. I don't think the admin realized I didn't shut the door the whole way. And I heard the principal telling the mom, now, we know she could be a bit much. We know she could be a bit much, but, you know,
I could go be a bit much elsewhere.
Exactly.
Bye.
she can be a bit much. So here's what we want to do. We understand, and don't worry, we'll take care of it. But here's what you need to, like, literally undermine everything that I just said so they could side with the parent. Now, this parent was also like a prevalent member of our community.
Sure.
So, you know, let's be for real. They wanted to check that political box. But it was just, that was so disheartening.
Yeah.
Like, to hear that, like, wow, you don't have my back, you know, when it comes to stuff like that. So that's the type of thing that I want to do is often just say to admin, like, if you could be so like, just support your teachers, basics, just basics, have their back.
And I think the biggest thing for me is that in a situation like this, I always want to talk to the teacher in a one-on-one setting and not in the middle of class is not the time for it too. So like this happens, like the teacher is emotional, like in that moment, like if I'm following up with that situation on that report, I'm going to ask the teacher, like, do you need me to cover your class so you can step out and take a moment? Like that is the kind of that is the kind of response we need to have to a situation like that, as opposed to like trying to have this argument back and forth with the teacher about the situation in front of all the class.
Right.
Yes. And that's the thing too, like, that gets me, is it's like, wow, sorry, you just really got me choked up. Not for real, joke. I mean, I'm not, but you know what I mean? But like,
I was like, oh my gosh, you okay?
Are you crying?
Do you need a moment? Like, do you want me to lamp to cover your microphone?
a little added PTSD. No, but yeah, no, I love that, because like, literally, like, sometimes it's some of the things that come up in the classroom can like shift us completely emotionally. And so the fact that you're like, do you need a second? I love that. Do you need a second?
Yeah.
Like, literally. And that's something that I noticed that you had posted recently about how you go into your teachers' classrooms each morning.
Yes.
And you give them a memo and you do all the things in that. I just think that is so cool. Like, they get to see you first and foremost every morning. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is what I'm always thinking about as an administrator is I am in a position where I need to make withdrawals for teachers. And I need to ask teachers to turn something in or to do something to help support the school. But I also need to be proactive about making those deposits. And so that's, you know, when in the mornings, I'll go around, I check in with every member of our faculty and staff. We have a team of 90. I go in, I personally connect with each person, say, good morning, how are you? Is there anything you need today? And that is one of the ways that I try to just build some positive deposits so that when I need to ask them for something, that it doesn't feel like it's always me just asking them to do something.
I love that. Deposits.
And I think that's like not done a whole lot because that takes
No.
time. And
Yeah.
I don't want like that's amazing. And every admin should be doing it. But the reason that they're not, because it takes a lot of time.
Yes.
Like you are taking time out of your very, very busy day to do that, to make those deposits.
And I think the way I've structured it is I just like, I put a stake in the ground about this is what is most essential. And for me, it's faculty and staff support. So I know that I do a student meeting in the morning. After a student meeting, I spend about 90 minutes doing rounds to all of our faculty and staff. And that is my time to check in with each member of our team to make sure that they have what they need. And then as I'm going around, I think the second part of this is if someone asks for something, then I actually deliver on that too. So it's not just like I'm doing lip service. Like yesterday I went into a teacher's room. She was like, oh, I need a quick restroom break. Okay, gotcha. Go. And like, but you're able to then provide them that support in that moment when they need it.
And I love that because they know, like, okay, Principal Lamb normally comes around this time. If I have to go to the bathroom, we're like, at least I know Miss, Principal Lamb's coming, at this time. Like, hey, can you help me out real quick? I just go to the bathroom. Just little small little nuggets like that make a difference. And speaking of deposits, like you said, that you give to your teachers, like, because you want to make sure that when you're making those withdrawals, okay, I don't know if you saw this, Jess, but for Christmas, before break, Principal Lamb got all his teachers Nikes. New Nikes.
We did. It was
Nikes. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. That's why I told you I'm fangirling.
I'm a size 11.
Let me know your sizes. Let's go.
Hook us up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they all opened them up. It was so cool.
All right. So the best part about this is it was a complete surprise for all of our faculty.
I know the way
staff.
he did it was so cool.
But so we were brainstorming this. So the backdrop on this is in terms of how we raised it. Our faculty and staff was in a step challenge against other schools during the month of October, and so we placed in the step challenge, and so we got some prize money for that.
That
and
is so
then,
cool.
And then I also received an award for some of the social media stuff that I do, and so the prize money went to the school. We used it to finance the new Nikes for the staff.
I just can't.
And so we're like, okay, we're going to get these shoes, but how do we get everyone's shoe sizes? So we told the staff, we said, look, you're on your feet all day. And so for winter break, we want you to be able to relax and rest your feet. So we're going to get you slippers. And so I sent out a picture of like the ugliest slippers that I could find. And so then I sent this email out and I was like, well, let's like send us your slipper size. And meanwhile, like people are getting the survey, like they make 6.5 slipper size. Like they size slippers like that. I'm like, just fill it out. Okay.
Yes.
And then, but people were like, some of the faculty and staff were like, kind of like, they felt some type of way that like, why are we getting these slippers? Because the year before we got them we had got them these academic jackets that there was like Letterman jackets.
Yeah.
And so then people were like, why are we getting these slippers? So people were totally shocked. We unveiled, we'd wrapped 90 boxes of shoes,
so cool.
and they opened them up, and they loved them.
Yeah, you guys gotta go check out the video. It's so cool. Yeah,
my gosh,
yeah. It was awesome.
I'm going to be honest with you, teachers. My mornings are a hot mess. Between prepping for whatever the school day has in store, getting everyone out the door, breakfast is, let's just say, aspirational. I need something quick, tasty, filling, and actually good for me. This podcast is sponsored by Orgain, and if you haven't tried it yet, let me tell you it is a game changer. Orgain believes that real nutrition has the power to make a real difference in people's lives. And let's be honest, as teachers, we're fueled by caffeine and whatever snack we can find in our desk, so a little extra nutrition goes a long way. Orgain's organic plant protein powder is my go-to. It's packed with 21 grams of complete protein and all 9 essential amino acids. And here's the kicker, it actually tastes good, like creamy good, not, I guess this is healthy, so I'll suffer through it good. The best part, no soy, artificial sweeteners, or weird preservatives. The other day, I didn't bring a lunch and I had approximately 3 minutes to get something into my roaring stomach. So I tossed a scoop of Orgain's vanilla protein powder into some almond milk, gave it a shake, no bake, and bam, instant lunch. It's so easy. Even my rushed hot mess teacher self can handle it. This year, I'm intentionally putting more nutritious and protein-filled foods into my body, and protein is something my body needs to be energized, maintain, or lose weight and stay focused. But it's always one more thing to do, one more thing to think about, to cook, to prepare. It's a lot for a teacher's schedule and can feel super overwhelming. But Orgain has made this goal of getting a more nutritious and protein-filled menu easy with their plant protein powder. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I actually look forward to my daily delicious vanilla shake. Remember, there are no quick fixes when it comes to your health. If you want more protein, give Orgain Organic Plant Protein Powder a try. Head to Orgain.com/TOD and use code TOD for 30% off your order. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use our code TOD for 30% off. One last time, for 30% off, head to Orgain.com/TOD. Use our code TOD.
Yeah.
I can't believe admin got these teachers.
I know.
90s.
Okay, so first of all, did you just hear him say athletic jackets the year prior, Jess? Like, so that's why they was like slippers. What, like, what's this?
I just gotta text my husband, let him know that we're moving to Baton Rouge.
Exactly.
So that I can go
Which I'm sure
work.
you get a lot of.
Right?
But-
I bet you do. Do you get a lot of that? Like, hey, are you hiring?
I've been asked that a few times, and the answer, yes, 100%.
And what school? What's the grade level that at your school? You're elementary, right? Or middle?
No, so we're in the whole spectrum. So I'm at a school that is K through 10th grade,
Okay.
and then we're actually a growing school right now. So we're growing to become a K through 12. So
That's
you
awesome.
can start at kinder and go all the way through 12th grade.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
Yes.
No, that was just amazing to me to see that the Nike thing. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's why we need to be at Principal Lamb School for Teacher Appreciation. Because we ain't gonna be getting bags of chips and saying you all that in a bag of chips. Okay. Or I snicker when I think of you.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Or your
And
mints.
was it a fun size Snicker too?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, not even a full size candy bar. You gave me a little snack size Snicker bar. You ain't snickering. That's not even a smile. Like
A Snicker is not a good thing.
No.
I'm not.
No,
If I snicker at you, that's bad.
It's probably a bad thing. Yes.
You know it's bad when like the admin are just recycling like the PBIS prizes for teacher appreciation.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, at your school is where I want to be for Teacher Appreciation Week. Let's just say. Yeah, Nike, a little Converse, whatever. Oh my gosh.
All right. My principal wrote in my end of year evaluation that I needed to improve my attendance. When I asked why, she stated it was because I was out with pneumonia for 10 days.
So
Her
is it,
attendance?
Her attendance.
Okay, at first I thought you meant the kids. Okay.
so
Oh,
the
no.
expectation was you come to school with pneumonia.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's sadly not the first time I've heard coming to school sick and admin supporting me.
Okay. But okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a little bit of a devil advocate here.
Okay.
Okay.
We're here
I'm gonna
for
put
it.
my little,
We're
I'm
ready.
gonna put my little devil horns
All right,
on.
we're
Let's go.
ready.
When I used to get my evaluations from observations, it was a great observation,
Mhm.
but I never ever got like 4s across the board. Never. It was always
Mhm.
3s, consistently right down the row. And when I asked, like, oh, like, why didn't I get a 4 for this? Like, you didn't
Yeah.
have any notes. Well, like, you could always use improvement. So maybe your principal was looking just for something to say.
And so he picked that. Because, and you know what? I agree with you on that, Jess.
Everyone needs a growth area.
Yeah, I agree with you on
Just
that.
don't get pneumonia next year.
Apparently. And hey, he picked something that she can improve on because next year she might. Right.
If you
And
have,
he can get data from it.
He's setting you up for success.
Legit.
This admin is setting you up for success.
And it is a smart goal because it
let's
is.
go. Next year, you're going to take more vitamin C.
It
You're going to
has
get
data.
better sleep, 8 hours a night.
Like
Live in a
there's
bubble.
70%
You'll be great.
chance that she may not have
I know.
pneumonia next year. So there you go. You got your data. Okay, like
No, that is so real though about administrators leaving room for a growth area, and like it's like no, you can never reach that top level
Yeah.
in the rubric
Never.
because there always has to be growth.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's why.
I think that's like one of the most frustrating things for
So
me
frustrating.
because I wanted those fours.
oh no.
yes.
I wanted that excellence.
Yes.
I'm with you. And the thing is like I'll get like proficient, and then I think the
Yeah.
other one is like exceeding or something. And so it'd be proficient. So I'm like, but just a little bit over. And they're like, but nobody could be exceeding at everything.
Like I can't. I want to look at them and be like, you were in this room. Like you felt the spirit in here. Like this was an excellent spirit. Like
Legit.
I nailed that
My
observation.
classroom environment
I
was
know.
perfection. All of my students felt loved and seen.
Yes.
Legit.
But I feel like that's why then admin go with that lens of like you go into an observation and you're immediately like, let me find the thing that I can take away because no one can hit that absolute
Yeah.
4 across the board. And that's just it's the wrong way to think about it.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, it's so true.
But being the competitive person that I was like, I'll do better next
You're
time.
like, no, I still want it.
Yeah, right. It's the carrot.
I get it and I understand, but fix it. Put it back.
But honestly, well, like to go back to this story, I think one of the most empowering things that an administrator ever did for me when I was pregnant with my son, I was having like some complications with like the pregnancy. I had preeclampsia and I was like really, really struggling through like the last trimester of my pregnancy. And I remember her coming to me and be like, whatever you need. If you need to leave early, if you need to take your maternity leave early, go. Like,
Oh, wow.
we've got you.
That's
Like, it's
awesome.
fine. And I think it's the idea of like administrators actually treating us like we're humans.
Yeah.
And like life. You and I kind of talked about this earlier
Yes.
off mic, but there's so much going on in everybody's lives.
Yeah.
And I think the most empowering thing that administrators can do is remember that we are human. And I think the most empowering thing teachers can do for admin too is remember that they're human.
Mhm.
And that life is happening.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
school, there's so much going on outside of school.
Right.
So
Yes.
much.
And I totally agree though. Like literally one thing that was so like reaffirming and that just made my day one day is I was teaching again, same elementary school, but the assistant principal one day, and I was just like, I just can't keep up like with all the things that you guys, are expecting and this and the other. And she's like, sweetheart, you're not a robot. Like, she's like, we're not going to treat you like a robot. She's like, do what you can and then realize you're human. Like when she said like, you guys are humans, not robots. And I was just like, wow. And the fact that she's the one that like
My heart is melting.
melting.
But the fact that
it's
like
just-
that is like that is an anomaly, right? Like that is
sadly.
we I feel like we take some of the human element out of the work and we expect, we have to have these student test scores and we have to have this. It's like people have real life happening
Mhm.
and we have to be able to accommodate for that.
Yeah. And I never heard that again. I just want to put that out there. From anybody.
Nobody. I feel like that again, like that kind of comes back to that. And I like that you say like you put a stake in the ground about what you're focusing on and what you're prioritizing, because that's something that you can always come back to. Like, how does this support my priority, which is my staff, my faculty and staff.
Sure.
And whether your attitude straight away is like, well, like you were out with pneumonia for 10 days. So like let's get your attendance back up. But like coming back, like, how does that response impact a teacher? And I think it's so important that you have that stake in the ground. And I love that there's something for you to always come back to.
Well, I think that like one of the things that school administrators can do to support their teams is just create sustainable environments where the teachers can be long-term. We all know that like if teachers are able to stay in a school year after year and feel that they have the support they need, that who's going to win? The students are going to win.
Yeah.
And so how do we create an environment where if you're sick with pneumonia, whatever it is you have going on in life, like you're supported in those moments so that you can continue to do the great work that you're doing with students.
Right. Right.
And I think I heard, I don't know if it was a meme or if I actually heard someone say it. They said happy teachers equal a happy school.
Yes.
And so like, that's why I love that is your goal. And like Jess said, that is your stake in the ground, because that is literally where everything else like trickles from. It's like, if you have a happy teacher, they're going to stay. That retention, it's going to help with retention. It's going to help with data because the kids are going to want to be there and do the things.
Yes.
And you notice that like, once the teachers are in a better mindset and a better, feel like they have that safe and supportive environment, they do better. And the kids do better.
Yes.
On top of that, parents are happy because their kids are doing good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like, it literally creates a well-balanced schools if you literally focus more so on the teachers. That's just me.
Yes.
Yeah. My 2 cents.
Well, it's you and principal.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I kind of, took your credit, but whatever. I piggybacked off of it.
I love it.
Okay. I signed off on it. All right. Like Robert's Rules of Order. I second that opinion. Okay. So there we go.
All right. I think we'll do one more here. This is an interesting. I'd like to hear how your school does this. Admin made me pay for my own sub when I got sick with pneumonia again, goodness, because they couldn't afford 9 days of subs.
That's actually become a thing in my district too.
You have to pay for
You have
some?
to pay?
After a certain, they want it. Okay, like just to put it lightly, it's unheard of. It's all I'm gonna say. It's not unheard of paying for your own subs. Like, not my district is not telling us that we personally have to pay for our subs initially, but if it becomes like a certain amount of, like, especially for field trips and stuff like that, like the sub pay can be incorporated, stuff like that. Like it has been talk about that, like us having to cover our own sub.
That's why
but they don't make. Yeah, I've heard that.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I've heard of other teachers pay for their
I've
subs.
heard of it, but I've never like been in the presence.
Yeah.
Of.
Yeah. Because it was, and the reason I don't know the full extent for my district right now is because literally the way that it's outlined, they're still working on whatever. But I remember it being mentioned at the beginning of the year, like, we want to keep our sub numbers down because of the fact that like some of it needs to be allotted for and paid for out of maybe, personal funds or school budget or whatever. And so having to come up with the money for it is like a whole nother ballgame. Like for me, we have a permanent sub at our school. We said this in another episode. We have a permanent sub at my school. My principal looks out for us in that way. But trust me, I've heard of teachers taking it out of their personal funds to cover subs.
I just feel there's unhealthy pressure for educators to like come in sick, and it's an unrealistic expectation. I feel like if people need to take time away from work to be sick, then like we need to be able to afford them that time to be able to recover.
They should be sick.
Right.
Yeah.
It's insane that we're even having this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is a thing.
I've heard horror stories about like teachers having to find their own subs, which is a no for me.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. Well, I always say, hey, whoever will take the gig, give it to them. But I know some teachers have preferred subs that they prefer. But I'm like, whoever take it.
Yeah.
Just let me out.
Do you guys have a permanent sub in your school?
We have subs who work within our building, and so they're full-time members of our faculty and staff. They're there every day.
Wow. So you have permanent subs.
We deploy them as needed. And then if it's a crazy day and we have 7 people out during a day, other people will jump in, and even myself, like I don't mind jumping in and covering a class when it's needed. But we're going to make sure that instruction keeps rolling for our students,
right?
And that faculty and staff can take care of their needs as well.
Yeah.
I think with illnesses too, I mean, obviously, if you have a member of faculty or staff who is abusing attendance, then that's something separate,
very different.
right?
Yeah, that's very different.
But like for when people are legitimately sick, we have to be able to give them the coverage that they need.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more here for you. I think this is an interesting one. Admin made me do a coworker's duties after school for free because that teacher had young kids and couldn't do it. And I was younger and didn't have a family yet, so I was opted to do it.
What?
That's a no.
No.
That's a no.
That's so messed up.
I think once personal lives and like personal situations like basically put you up or like force you into a job, like you're basically telling that teacher your time is less valuable than this one's because she has kids,
or that even she is less valuable because of that. Yeah.
Right.
And then I think is it from just like my administrator lens, then it's like now you've gone into the side of like, now it's like favoritism of like, I'm picking this person.
We haven't even
over
touched
this person.
on that
Yeah.
So like, I think that like, that's where my radar goes immediately, is like, okay, we're letting one person off the hook and off of this responsibility and then putting it on another person. I'm like, all right, that administrator, that like, they need to be looking for a new job.
Yeah.
But for real, like that's so messed up. Like literally, but literally it takes me back to like being a teenager in working at McDonald's when people would get smoke breaks, but I don't smoke, so I didn't get that break. You know what I mean?
So true.
I'm just saying that is
Should
the
I
equivalent.
take up smoking?
Legit.
You
I
want to
might.
start smoking so you can get those extra
That
breaks.
is literally what the equivalent was for that for me. Like you'll get a break, you get an extra 15-minute break every shift because you smoke. So because I ain't got no kids, I gotta do the duty. Nah, bruh, you tripping. That ain't right. It ain't fair, man. Like, no. So
Why did you have kids? Oh, so I didn't have to do duties after school.
Legit. It's good.
So
It's
true. So
literally.
ridiculous.
It's like, look, that's why I had these kids. Yep. They serving me.
Yeah, right.
Like, they made it so I ain't had to do after school duties.
How did you know you were ready for kids? Well, I was asked to do a duty.
That dismissed that carpool duty was really killing me.
Legit. When the email came out with duties for the year, it's when I realized it's time for me to do my duties.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. On that note, oh guys, I am so excited to do some more episodes with you,
Yes.
Principal Lamb,
Yes,
and with
for
you, Leslie,
sure.
because we are just scratching the surface of the conversations that are to come. So I'm so excited. But this has been another episode of Teachers Off Duty. Thank you so much for being with us. And do you wanna say your like little sign off and
get ready for more episodes, guys. But yes, I am Leslie Robb of Leslie Robb Comedy, guys. And as always, I loved being here with you guys today.
Mm-hmm.
And I am Jared Lamb at Principal Lamb. And thank you for joining us.